Brandon Marshall signing with the New York Giants. He is only going to be changing locker rooms as he stays in New York City. Sean, do you think this is a good move, or is it not going to work?
Man, I love it. I actually love it on both sides, Giants and Marshall. I hate it as a Cowboy fan because now we have to play Marshall. But he's always destroyed us. That's why I hate it. I love Marshall. I love Brandon Marshall. But I hate it as a Cowboy fan because he always destroys us. But kind of get back to Marshall. I thought it was a great move for the Giants to add a good receiver. He's a great possession receiver. A great compliment, I think, to Odell Beckham. And this is
a red zone target, for sure.
Exactly. And I don't think they really had that besides Odell. And I think this is great because, first off, Brandon Marshall's never been on a playoff contender, never played a playoff game in his career, which is crazy. And second, he doesn't have to be the guy here.
Not at all.
Odell Beckham is going to take all the double teams in the world. And I don't think Brandon Marshall's ever faced teams without being the guy and being double teamed. So this is going to be awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah. Now, okay, so no doubt the wide receiving core is going to be phenomenal, right? You got Brandon Marshall, you got Odell Beckham, and then Sterling Shepard, who's going to be in the slot. I think Sterling Shepard might benefit the most out of this because the attention is going to be on Odell first, and then Brandon Marshall. Sterling Shepard's going to be wide open all day long, and that dude's a stud. That dude is an absolute great talent, I think. And now, okay, but here's the thing, though. It doesn't change the fact that the Giants' offensive line is very suspect. So what good is it to have all those wide receivers if Eli Manning has no time to throw the ball? Because that was a deal last year. He had almost no time to throw that damn ball. And they didn't fix anything really in the running game so far. As of right now, they haven't fixed the running game. They got what they got. So all those wide receivers, what's it really going to matter if you don't have a threat in the backfield and Eli Manning has no time because that offensive line is still shit.
That's true. And it's going to be interesting because we're going to have to see what happens in the aspect of what they do in the draft. Obviously, that hasn't come up, but maybe they're going to adjust it there. But just looking at the receiving core, it's a great move, but you make a good point, Josh.
Now, here's another point I got to make about that. Brandon Marshall, it's no secret that this guy comes with a huge personality, and he has no filter. This guy's going to say what he's going to say. And Odell Beckham Jr., he's a character himself, right? And so are some of the other guys on the Giants. But Brandon Marshall, right after signing, he already comes out and he starts throwing things out there saying, hey, that boat trip that you guys took right before the playoff game against Green Bay, if I was there, I would have been against that. I would have spoke up and said, hey, we're not doing that. We got to prepare for the Green Bay Packers. And he goes on to explain that it's like, that's my mindset right now because I'm an older guy. When you first start, your first couple of years, you want to prove that you belong in the NFL, and then you want to get paid after that. And then after you get paid, you want to win. And that's where he's at in his career right now. So do you think Brandon Marshall's personality is going to mesh well, chemistry-wise and all, with Odell Beckham Jr. and some of those other guys in the Giants locker room?
See, I think what Brandon Marshall said is absolutely correct, right? And
absolutely,
honestly,
no doubt,
he deserves to be able to speak up.
He's a veteran.
He's not the old Brandon Marshall where he was just so erratic. He's really gotten control because remember he had that bipolar issue, right?
Yeah,
he's gotten a lot better, and I don't mind this. I don't mind it because he needs to set the tone. Because Odell needs to take a little book from his a page. Because
Eli Manning's not going to do it.
Oh yeah, Eli Manning's just like whatever. You
guys do you.
Exactly. So I think Odell needs to listen. He needs to listen to this.
Do you think he will?
Big-headed. I don't know. It's going to be interesting because he started maturing towards the end of the year and started getting a little bit better after the whole fiasco.
Getting in fights with equipment and shit.
Kicking nets and shit. And anyways, it's going to be interesting because I feel like Odell's kind of going through what Brandon Marshall did early in his career, going through those emotional up and downs, right? So I think this will be a good learning point because I think Brandon Marshall can help him mature in that sense.
So there you go.
I love what Brandon Marshall says. It's just going to be interesting
Absolutely.
to see
Yeah, I mean, that was the right thing to say. He brings something to an element to the Giants locker room that hasn't been there since probably since like Strahan was there in those days. I mean, a locker room veteran, a general. And Brandon Marshall is already, upon signing, is saying, I'll fill that void. I'll tell these guys what they need to do and to step in.
I love
that's great. And we'll see how it turns out as the season progresses. I mean, the NFC East is going to be very competitive next year. For more of our videos.
And also, if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe.
Yes. Please do so.
Do it.
Now.
What he said.